Welcome to Basic Science class. And today, before we move to our topic, I have a question, which is, how does food affect our mental health? And most time, whenever we hear about food, what comes to our mind is, okay, if I don't eat, I might faint. If I don't eat good food, my body will lack some nutrients and the rest. But how does it affect our mental health? Does it have any impact on our mental health? That's our cognitive skills, the way we think, on our mind, and all of that. So we're going to be looking at how does food, in the course of this lecture, of this class, we're going to be looking at the way food affects our mental health. That will lead us to our topic today, which is food and nutrients. Food and nutrients. So at the end of today's class, you should be able to define food, define nutrients. Also, you should be able to classify food into micro and macronutrients. Macro and micronutrients. Then state the importance of a balanced diet. Should we just eat anything we see? Okay, just consume any type of food? No, but you should be able to know the importance of a balanced diet. As you are eating, you should know that it should be balanced. Anything you're going to put into your stomach, you're thinking about, it's not just about getting my stomach full. It should be a balanced diet. So food and nutrients go hand in hand when it comes to nourishing our bodies. So when you're talking about food and nutrients, they go hand in hand. Whenever it comes to the nourishment of our body, you must think of food, and you must also think of the nutrients you are getting from such food. And what is food? Food is the source of essential nutrients that provide energy, promote growth and development, and support various bodily functions. So the source of nutrients that provide energy, promote growth and development, and also support various bodily functions. All these are gotten from food. So what is food? Food refers to any substance that is consumed by organisms. When I mean organism, living organism, and when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about humans, I'm talking about animals also. So to provide nourishment and sustain life. Any food anything you're putting into your mouth, you're eating, should provide nourishment and also to sustain your life. It's no longer news that if you don't eat for a number of maybe weeks or months, you might die. It's true, because you are no longer, there's nothing sustaining you again. So it includes a wide range of edible substances such as fruits, your vegetables, your grains, meat, fish, dairy products, legumes, nuts, seeds. So all these are all classified as food. So food provides the macro and micronutrient necessary for body's functioning. So what we've looked at food as any substance that you take in that also provides, that gives you nourishment and also sustain your life. So what is nutrients on the other hand? And because we say food and nutrient, they go hand in hand when it comes to the nourishment of your body. So what are nutrients? Nutrients are the components of food that are essential for growth, development, and overall health. So food now is any substance, but now we are looking at nutrients. They are the components of food that are essential for growth, development, and overall health, and they can be classified into macronutrients and micronutrients. So what are macronutrients? Whenever you hear anything like macro, just know it is large. We're talking about not micro, macro, M-A-C-R-O. So it is large. Macronutrients, these are nutrients required in large quantities, and they provide energy, that is calories, for the body. You require these nutrients in large quantities, not just in minute quantity, in a large quantity, and they provide energy for the body. So we have three of these sources of food that fall under these macronutrients. We are talking about carbohydrates, protein, and fats. So this falls under macronutrients. We need them in large quantities in order to provide energy for our body. So we're going to consider carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the body's main source of energy. They are found in foods like grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes. And the second one we have here is proteins. Proteins are essential for the growth, repair, and maintenance of body tissues. They are found in foods such as your meat, your fish, your poultry, eggs, dairy products, legumes, and nuts. And as I said the other time, that there are three categories of sources of food that falls under this macronutrient. I said carbohydrate, protein, and now we have fats. Fats provide energy, support cell function, and help in the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. And common sources include your oils, your butter, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. In our subsequent class, we're going to go into details. We're going to look at carbohydrate, proteins, and fats in details. So do not forget, we are looking at macronutrients and micronutrients. So now, what are micronutrients? Micro, I'm not talking about macro now. Micro, that is M-I-C-R-O. Micronutrients. These are nutrients required in smaller amounts, but are still crucial for various bodily functions. Why our body require macronutrients, that is in larger amounts, those nutrients are needed in larger amounts. Micronutrients are needed in smaller amounts, but that doesn't mean that we should now, because you feel these are needed in smaller amounts, we shouldn't take them. No, they are still very crucial, because when your body lacks these things, there are consequences for that when you don't take in those micronutrients, because they are still very crucial for various bodily functions. And we have our vitamins and minerals to fall under this. So let's look at our vitamins. Vitamins are organic compounds necessary for proper growth, development, and overall health. So for proper growth, development, and your overall health, you need your vitamins, and they are found in foods like your fruits, vegetables, dairy products, and in your whole grains. And now we have minerals. Minerals are inorganic substances that play important roles in bodily functions. Our vitamins are what? They are organic compounds. Our minerals are inorganic substances that play important roles in bodily functions, and they are found in foods such as fruits, vegetables, dairy products, whole grains, meat, and fish. So let's consider a balanced diet very quickly. At the beginning, during the objective, I said that we also look at the importance of a balanced diet. You shouldn't just eat anything you see. You should consider the nutrients you are getting from it. Will it help your body to grow maximally the way it ought to? So a balanced diet is a diet that provides all the necessary nutrients in appropriate proportions to support optimal health and well-being. A balanced diet is a diet that provides all the, I'm stressing this word, all the necessary nutrients. That means all the nutrients that you need in your body, as much as they are necessary, and not just in anyhow proportion, in appropriate proportions to support optimal health and well-being. If you don't have them, if you don't take them in appropriate proportions, they might have a negative impact on your health. So if you're going to have optimum health, and you want to maintain a good health, that is, you want to maintain a good well-being, you must take food and nutrients in their appropriate proportion. That is why we are looking at this balanced diet. So it involves consuming a variety of foods from different food groups in the right quantities. Well, we have different types of classification of food, which we're going to look at in subsequent class. So we are going to look at how do you consume this variety of food from these food groups in the right quantity. This is what balanced diet is all about. Consuming these classes of food there's different food that falls under them in the right quantity. That's what we're talking about, the appropriate proportion. So now let's look at importance of a balanced diet. Why should we take balanced diet? Why should we take a balanced diet? Number one is it provides essential nutrients. Each class of food offers unique nutrients that are necessary for the proper functioning of the body. When we consider those class of food, you're going to come across them. So, but each of them, they possess a unique nutrient that is available in that food content you are consuming, and those nutrients available there, they are necessary for the proper functioning of the body. So when you consume this food in their right proportion, that means when you are taking any balanced diet, you will have essential nutrients in your body. Number two is it supports growth and development. It supports growth and development. A balanced diet is particularly important during childhood. When we are talking about just important during childhood and adolescence, we are not saying, okay, adults, we mean old men and old women should not take a balance. That's not what we are saying. But as you grow up, you need them. You need to take a balanced diet, because if you eat one particular class of food more than the other, you might have some diseases. For example, if you take more carbohydrate and you are not considering proteinous food, you don't consider fat food, you don't consider vitamin, you don't consider other types of classes of food, you might end up having a kwashiorkor, especially if you are just growing. So a balanced diet is particularly important during childhood and adolescence, when growth and development are rapid. As you grow older, your body slows down growth and development. But as you are young, you are still young, you have rapid growth and development, and a consistent balanced diet will support growth and development. Number three is it maintains healthy body weight. It maintains healthy body weight. A balanced diet helps in maintaining a healthy body weight. You're not just consuming fatty foods alone. You're considering other foods in the other class, in the other class, such as carbohydrate, protein, vitamin, minerals, and the rest, and water. So it helps you when you take a balanced diet. It helps you to maintain a healthy body weight. Number four is boost immune system. It boosts your immune system. When you consume balanced diet, it boosts your immune system. Adequate nutrition from a balanced diet plays a vital role in supporting a strong immune system. And hope you know that your immune system helps you to fight against illnesses, fight against diseases. When your body, your system is being attacked by attacked with illnesses, and you fall, your immune system is supposed to rise, is supposed to help you defend your system. So if you don't eat a balanced diet, your immune system will not be, it won't have the adequate strength to overcome such illness that is coming to you. And number five is reduces the risk of chronic diseases. Hope you know that when you consume more fatty food, it can lead to some heart diseases. And so when you eat your balanced diet, you consume your food in the right proportions, it helps to reduce the risk of chronic diseases. A balanced diet that includes a variety of nutrient-dense foods has been associated with a reduced risk of chronic diseases such as heart diseases, diabetes, and certain types of cancer. When you consume more of carbohydrates, that is, it contains, we're going to see it when we are looking at the classes of food in a subsequent class. When you consume more of carbohydrates and you are susceptible to diabetes, there's every probability that you're going to have it in you. But when you consume balanced diet, there's a reduced risk of you having diabetes. So when you eat a balanced diet, you reduce the risk of chronic diseases. And number six is improves mental health. I remember that at the beginning of this class, the question was, how do the food you eat, what role does it play in your mental health? So we can say that when you have a balanced diet, it improves your mental health. Proper nutrition plays a significant role in mental health and cognitive function. If you consume, there's some food that hurts your brain, and when I'm talking about food, we look at granite is, for example, now when you eat it, it helps the brain, and your brain can function well, you can think properly. That is what you're improving your mental health and other food. But if you're just streamlining yourself to some set of food and it's not balanced, your mental health might be affected in the long run. And number 7, promote overall well-being. It promotes overall well-being. A balanced diet not only benefits specific aspect of it, but also promotes overall well-being. You grow wholesomely. Your body grows wholesomely. You're not just, for example, in the case of kwashiorkor now, you see the belly protruding. So it's as if it's just one aspect of the body that is growing, and the legs are thin, the arms are thin, the head is big. So it's not wholesome growth. But when you eat a balanced diet, you grow wholesomely. Your head will be as it ought to be, your stomach will be as it ought to be, your leg, you look healthy. So eating a balanced diet promotes overall well-being. And whenever we eat food, our body stores different nutrients in various ways depending on the nutrient type. So we're going to look at the breakdown of how our body stores different nutrients. Number 1 is carbohydrates. Glucose is the primary form of carbohydrates that our body uses for energy. So when you eat carbohydrates, it breaks there's a procedure it takes, and your body breaks it down to glucose. That is how your body stores it. Carbohydrate our body uses that's how our body uses carbohydrates. It is broken down into glucose. And when you have excess glucose in your body, it is being converted into glycogen and stored in the liver and muscles as glycogen stores. So when you have excess carbohydrates in your body, when you have taken excess carbohydrates and your body has taken enough that it needs for the moment, the excess one are converted into glycogen. And when they are converted into glycogen, those glycogen are stored in your liver and your muscles. And whenever your body needs them again, the body goes to the liver and the muscles and take them back into the body. When glycogen stores are filled, any additional glucose is converted into fat and stored in adipose tissue. Fat cells, adipose tissues are called fat cells, for long-term energy storage. So the body is so wonderful that it doesn't support waste in a way. So whenever you eat enough or you have excess in your body and the body has taken enough of what it needed, it stores the rest as glycogen in your liver and your muscle. And after storing in your liver and muscle, if there are still excess, that means if your glycogen stores are filled up already, those additional glucose that are left are converted into fat and stored in the adipose tissue. Then number 2 is your protein. How does our body store proteins? Proteins are not stored in the body to a significant extent for later use. Instead, they are continuously broken down and rebuilt as needed for various bodily functions. Unlike we have for carbohydrate now, that they are being stored in the liver and in the muscle, and when you have excess, maybe your glycogen stores are filled, then they are stored in the adipose tissue. That is your fat cells. For protein, they are continuously broken down and rebuilt as needed for various bodily functions. However, if there are excess dietary protein, maybe you consume excess dietary protein, it can be converted into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis or used as energy source. So it can also be converted into glucose and your body can use it again as energy source. Any excess amino acids that are not used for immediate needs can be converted into fat and stored. The next we have here is fats. Fats are the most efficient form of energy storage in the body. I hope you know by now, because first, our carbohydrates, when you have it, and it's more. You can, in your body, after your liver and the muscle has taken the one they needed to store, and there's still excess, they are converted to fat stored in the adipose tissue. Same thing with protein. So but fat is the most efficient form of energy storage in the body. Excess dietary fats are broken down into fatty acid and glycerol. For carbohydrate, they are broken down into glucose. For protein, they are broken down into amino acid, while for fats, they are broken down into fatty acid and glycerol, which are then reassembled into triglycerides. And your triglycerides are stored in adipose tissue, that is your fat cell, throughout the body, acting as long-term energy reserve. And when do you need this energy reserve? Maybe when you are undergoing fasting. When you're undergoing fasting, maybe for a short term or long term, and you are abstaining from food, you see that your body makes use of this energy reserve that have been stored in your adipose tissue. And that is why you see some persons, when they are fasting, maybe they are undergoing a long period of fast, you see that they become their body comes down. That means they lose some weight. They lose weight. That is the right word. And you're wondering, you quickly ask the person, are you fasting? Yes, because the fat that have been stored in the various fat cells are being reused by the body so that it can sustain you. So your carbohydrates, excess ones, they are stored as fats. Your protein, excess ones, are stored as fat. And even fat itself, they are stored in your adipose tissue. And this can be used as long-term energy reserve. So how about our vitamins? Vitamins are classified into water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins, and there are various types of vitamins that falls under this. For your water-soluble vitamins, that is your big complexes, vitamins, and your vitamin C. And for your fat-soluble, we have vitamin A, D, E, and K. And you can use this short acronym ADEK, vitamin A, D, E, and K. So how does our body store vitamin? Water-soluble vitamins are not stored extensively in the body. Do not forget that water-soluble vitamins are B complexes and vitamin C. So they are not stored extensively in the body, and they are quickly excreted through either your urine when you consume them in excess. They are quickly excreted through your urine when you consume them in excess. Therefore, regular intake is necessary. Our body does not store this. You have to take this regularly to maintain. That's why we say that vitamins, they are needed in micro quantity. They are micronutrients. That means in small quantity. Still, your water-soluble vitamins, you need to take them from time to time since your body does not store them. But for fat-soluble, that is your vitamin A, your vitamin D, E, and K, they are stored in fat tissues and the liver, but excess amounts can accumulate over time, leading to potential toxicity if consumed in excessive doses. So let's look at our minerals. Minerals are essential nutrients that our body requires in small amounts. We know already that they are also micronutrients. So some minerals such as calcium and phosphorus are stored in bones and teeth for structural support and strength. So when you have excess calcium and phosphorus, they are stored in your teeth, they are stored in your bones for structural support and strength. And other minerals such as iron are stored in the liver, bone marrow, and other tissues for later use. But do not forget that these are needed in minute amounts, that is in small amounts. So if you consume them excessively, they can be toxic to your body. They can be toxic, and when they are toxic to your body, they will give you illnesses, and you will now have to start looking for a way to take them out of your body to remedy them. So now today we have looked at food and nutrients. We have looked at the definition of food, the definition of nutrient. You know that food is any substance that you take in. Food is any substance that you take in that helps you to stay alive, that sustains your life, that nourishes you. And nutrients, these are the components of food that you need to take in you. And we have looked at balanced diet. We have looked at the macro, M-A-C-R-O, macronutrients, and micro, M-I-C-R-O, micronutrients. in the case of macronutrients, they are needed in large quantities by our body. And we talked about carbohydrate being part of this, we talked about protein being part of it, and we talked about fat being part of this. We also looked at micronutrients. These are needed in minute quantity. They are needed, but that doesn't rule out the fact that we need them. You need them. And we looked at vitamin and mineral. And under vitamin we look at the water soluble, which are not stored in our body. You need to take them over time, take them from time to time for effective functioning of your body. And we looked at the fat soluble, the water soluble, that is the B complexes and vitamin C, and your fat soluble, that is vitamin A, D, E, and K. And we've also looked at their various functions in our body and how they are being stored. So very quickly, we're going to go into the ExamGuide app to check out for questions that are related to what we have learned today. We're just going to pick a few questions. So by now you know this is basic science, and you select your topic of interest. And in this case, our topic of interest is food and nutrient. Food and nutrient. Food and nutrients. So you click on it, and we'll go over, we just pick some questions randomly. Okay, we have the first question here. It says animals store excess glucose in the liver in form of, I think you should be able to do a recap now. We talked about our body storing carbohydrates in our food. First, we said, okay, let me read out the option, then we'll come back to this. A, starch. B, sucrose. I mean to say. C, glucagon. D, cellulose. And E, glycogen. Animals store excess glucose in the liver in form of, I remember saying that carbohydrates, when they are broken down into glucose, and that is how our body uses, that is the form in which our body uses carbohydrate in form of glucose to provide ready energy. And when you have excess of it, they are being converted into what? If you can remember, I said glycogen. They are being converted into glycogen, which are stored in our liver and our muscles. So the right answer is glycogen. Animals store excess glucose in the liver in form of glycogen. So E, option E, is the perfect answer to this question. Check for. Still have the same question. In which form is excess sugar stored in the body? Now, this is the same question being asked in another way entirely. In which form is excess sugar stored in the body? We have sugar, lactose, sucrose, glucose, and glycogen. You know by now that it is glycogen. Your body stores excess sugar as glycogen in your liver or in your muscle. That is option E. Thank you for participating in today's class. You can practice more questions using the ExamGuide app. The app scores and gives detailed explanations of all the questions at the end of your practice test. You can also learn a particular topic of interest with different modes like study modes, mock modes, and practice modes. It has other features that make learning fun. It is a must for all serious students. Download from www.examguide.com if you don't have it yet. See you in the next class. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell and share the video with others that will benefit from it. Bye for now.